Hey guys, we are officially live for our third day. Is this our final day, or are we doing more tomorrow, Susan?
We have one more to do tomorrow with 2 people.
So our second to last day of Pirate Booty Camp 2 wrap-ups. We will be covering several people tonight. Susan, why don't you give us the schedule for tonight?
We will be doing Michael, then Will, then Tristan, then Chris, then production.
So we have a busy, busy night tonight. I'll be here for most of it. I have to step away a little bit at 8, but Susan will take over, and I'll be back very shortly. So we'll get that taken care of. We're going to give it a couple minutes just to give people a chance to get on the link and start watching, and we will get started here in about 3 minutes with our first person, Michael, who everybody knows and most people love.
Oh, no, that's not what I heard. I heard most people think I am. Oh, wait. Also, the children, any children listening need earmuffs. I'm just throwing that out there.
Reality Rules is completely unfiltered. If you need to say a cuss word, you can say it. The only way we're filtered is it's really quick for Susan to get those blurred marks up, so please keep your clothes on. That's all that we ask.
Yeah, that takes
no promises.
But those are our
We're going to get started
moments.
here.
Yes.
In
I'm
about
the whore
2
of the cast.
minutes with Michael. You're the floater of the cast or the whore?
The whore. The whore.
Oh, okay.
But I
I'm the
wanted that
floater of the
title. No, I'm just kidding.
Girl, you was fighting me for it, but sorry. The number of people I slept with on the cast was higher than yours, bitch, so you should take that. How many showmances do you have? That's what I thought.
Shh, don't give away all my secrets.
Michael, were you the whore last season and this season, or are you just the Pirate Booty Camp whore in general?
I am the Pirate Booty Camp whore in general, but as the head whore, I have to make sure that the other whores fall in line. You can't just be sleeping with whoever the hell you feel like. There's a certain, protocol, a decorum to the whole business of whore.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have Michael here first, who obviously puts the booty in Pirate Booty Camp. So with that being said, Michael, why don't you take a second, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what placement you got this season, and just a little bit about your experience on Pirate Booty Camp.
Certainly. Well, my name is Michael Breidenhagen. I am 31 years old. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm currently a student for respiratory therapy. And thankfully, I'll be graduating next summer because right now I hate my life in school. Pirate Booty Camp, this year I was the first juror, so I got 9th place. Thanks a lot, Susan. And,
Hey, I'm not the one that played the idol wrong that round, so you should be thanking Baxter.
I know. I thought Baxter and I maybe had some more history that I could count on, but apparently not. Anyway, so as the first juror, I just assume I was the biggest threat, and that's why I got put up. That's what I tell myself every night. It's not true, that's what I tell myself.
Okay, so you played Pirate Booty Camp Season 1 and Season 2, so why don't we start by just telling you the comparison. What was different from Season 2 than what it was from Season 1 for you?
Well, Season 1 was my very first live game that I played ever. So the whole experience was brand new. Meeting online people was new. Season 2 was funny because the first tribes were divided by newbies and veterans, and so I feel like the newbie tribe, it seemed like everyone was running around trying to strategize and talk to each other, and at the veteran camp we kind of just sat around, tried to make a fire, made a shelter, and we just talking to each other. Because
us newbies, we didn't do anything but the tarp we were given, we threw it on the ground and we said this is home, and I know when we switched you guys were not happy.
Y'all's camp was a mess. First of all, if there's one thing I love, it's building a shelter. I'm much more outdoorsy than my voice leads on, and so I got over there and there's literally a tarp on the fucking ground. I was like, what were you gonna do? And well, we were kind of just going to sleep on a tarp, and I was like, you're gonna fucking what? Oh my Right.
Did they tell you the plan we had if it rained? If it rained,
we would have just gone under a tarp.
We were going to put the tarp over that picnic bench and sit under the picnic bench.
Y'all a mess, first of all. A mess. When it did rain, it got so muddy, you would have just been sitting in mud.
Pretty much.
Nasty little piggies. How dare you? How dare
So
you.
obviously, from a social and a strategical standpoint, you had a little bit of an experience. But let's even talk from the physical standpoint, because you're playing Survivor. You're out there
Yes.
in nothing. What were you able to prepare better season 2 with information you got from season 1? Like Stacy last night when we interviewed her, she said her luxury item is gum, because that morning breath and not being able to brush your teeth, that gum helps. What was able to prepare you maybe physically more for season 2, knowing you've gone through it through season 1?
Well, I knew that I was going to be like hungry. So season 1 we got like rice and beans, and so we like cooked them, but we were super hungry the first day, and so I felt better prepared mentally to deal with that for season 2. Like I just knew I'm gonna be hungry, and that's just too bad. That's like part of the experience. And then you get like rewards sometimes where you get food, but those were a lot more scarce season 2. So although I felt prepared, I was actually hungrier season 2 than season 1.
What was your placement season 1?
Well, I got 8th place, and then we had a returnee twist, so I came back the same round I was voted out, and then I got 6th place.
Okay, so you did worse this season. Why do you think you did worse this season than in your previous seasons?
Well, I thought it was poetic justice. Season 1, the returnee twist saved me, and I got to come back. Season 2, the 2 returnees who came back immediately voted me out because I had voted them out previously.
So karma's a bitch even in Pirate Booty Camp. Michael, you also play online games. So I like to ask everybody that does play the online games, what are the major differences for you in playing online versus real life?
Online games, you can more easily construct a persona for people. You can tell multiple people different things, and the likelihood of them finding out can be like a little more muddled. It's really hard to tell someone something in person, lie to them with a straight face, like looking them in the eyes, and have them not like immediately be able to just go and talk to other people, have other people within earshot. When you're around camp trying to strategize, you're like online, you're just like typing to someone. Like no one else is going to come into that conversation. Right. Whereas like in
Did he freeze for just me, or was that you too, Susan?
Fucking bitch walks into your conversation.
Okay, there he goes.
You froze for a second there for us.
Oh, I have stage fright. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, even the camera just can't keep up with your beauty.
Let's get into some questions that were submitted by people you played with and production that was there. How do you feel about Baxter using his idol on Chris, sending you his biggest ally out the door? And since there might be some people watching this, that weren't there. Why don't we go back and explain exactly set the scene before you answer the question?
Okay. Well, it's a very long scene that would include season 1 as well. Season 1, Baxter and I were involved in a showmance during the season. And then afterward, I started dating Dewan, who was in season 1 and on production season 2. And so going to season 2, being with Baxter again, we just have like, I don't know, we were able to like talk to each other in a way that I feel like a lot of other players maybe aren't, because there's not like a lot of like pretense between us, and we knew we weren't going to like vote each other out. So our connection was very strong. Originally when we swapped tribes, we were down in numbers 4 to 5, 4 veterans, 5 newbies. And so immediately 2 of the newbies came to me and Baxter and said they wanted to form an alliance, and we thought that was fantastic. One of those people was Brian W., and the other person was Chris. And so leading up into the vote, where the idol was used, where I got, I guess, idoled out, essentially, the numbers were 9 people, and the side that I was not on wanted to do a split. So the votes was going to be 3-3-3, because the only people left from my alliance was me, Baxter, Chris, and then there were 6 people on the other side, the 4 other tribe people and the 2 returnees. It was going to be a 3-3-3 split. We figured that was probably the case, but just in case they all voted for one person or put 4 votes on one person, we decided we're going to use the idol to maybe try and wipe that out. Chris was I'm like a much more paranoid player than I was, so I told Baxter he could use the idol on Chris.
Now, whose idol was it? Was it Baxter's idol, or was it your idol?
Well, I guess it was technically Baxter's idol. We got a clue to the idol in camp, and Michael Michael Canfield was going to get the idol because it was okay. So it was hidden under the mat at a challenge, and we knew exactly where it was going to be. On the way to the challenge, Michael Canfield, because everyone in our tribe knew where the idol was out ahead, and then it was Baxter, and then it was me. But I knew that I'd rather have the idol, or rather have Baxter have the idol. So I called Michael Canfield back to like discuss something with him, so that Baxter could run ahead and get to the challenge first and get the idol. Oops.
So it was a team effort.
Yeah, it was a team effort. Baxter would have been okay giving it to someone else at any time, so I didn't feel like he was like hoarding it for himself. But yes, it was.
Right.
I guess it was Baxter's idol because he's the one who actually physically got it.
So how did that make you feel when Baxter plays the idol then at that point, and you are the casualty that goes?
Well, I knew right away that I was, like, as soon as he played it on Chris, I knew that I was going to go home. So, I mean, I felt sad because I just really enjoyed the experience, but I'm not, like, a vindictive person. I feel like when I left, everyone, like, I still had, like, good feelings toward everyone. I gave, like, everyone a hug, and we were all crying. We had, like, the ugly cry going. It was very emotional. But it was fine. I felt bad, but I more felt like I was happy with the experience that I'd had. So.
Our second question. You were one of the 3 votes for Craig on the jury. The jury seemed to think that Craig's lack of social skills was his downfall. What was your take, and ultimately, why did you give Craig your vote?
I guess it could be seen as lack of social skill, but that's actually interesting. I feel like the order that the jury questions were asked in was actually very important. At first, people kept praising Craig for being so loyal. They just kept saying like, "Oh, you never lied. Oh, you never lied." And he was like, "Oh, I had to lie to people." And they were like, "Well, no, you never lied to me." And "No, you never lied to me." And so it kept going down the line, and everyone was like really strong. He was looking strong, and then Chris's question just about like talk to me about like our personal connection, and Craig didn't really have an answer that was satisfactory. That turned a lot of people off. So I don't feel like Craig played a bad social game. He just did a bad job of answering that specific question, and it cost him a lot of votes. Oh, and I voted for Craig because I feel like he played a better game. I just feel like Kirk was always like scrambling. He had 17 3/4 idols, and I just didn't feel like his actual gameplay overall was strong enough to warrant a final vote. And it's kind of a shame that it came down to like the one question that pretty much cost Craig the game.
The next 4 questions are for production. Is there any specific move in the game that you regret making?
Yes. I don't know. I don't really enjoy the word regret, but I regret voting for Brian Griffin when I told him I would not. I regret, I don't know, just in general, like having to lie to people. It's not really something I enjoy. I mean, I'm pretty good at it, but it's not something I enjoy. So, I don't know. And then I also felt really bad voting Pete out. And I had said that like I didn't want to do it, but I didn't really have any other choice. Like he was the clear majority. Everyone was going to vote for him, so I'm not just going to like put myself more in the line of fire by trying to keep him.
What smell?
That's me. I'm flaming. I'm on fire.
Go
You're
figure.
being broadcast, by the way. Is that what you're smelling? Sorry, my wife thought something was burning, but it was my expo marker.
It's my personality.
It
Michael
just
said
comes
he's
through
the one
that
that's
deep.
on fire. Knowing last year you and Baxter worked very close together, do you think it was a good idea for you to be so close with him and seen as a duo? Do you ultimately think that's what led to your downfall, or was
No,
that
they
not
wanted to get
not
Baxter
effective?
out. Oh, sorry. Well, they wanted to get Baxter out more than me. It's just he won immunity that round. And they were going to split between, well, they told me that they would have split between Chris and Baxter, not me. So I don't feel like I was particularly like the target. I feel like I was pretty well liked, and I was just a casualty of Baxter getting immunity. And then also it was just like a lack of options.
Well, we were only splitting it because we thought he was going to play. The reason we 3 voted you, we figured he was playing it on you, and Chris would just leave. The fact that he did it, we were kind of like, wow, that kind of worked out even better. I mean, no offense,
Right.
but like splitting
I'm
you
pretty
2,
fabulous.
come on.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like it was a lack of options. When we split tribes, the 4 people, it was, well, Baxter, Brian Griffin, and I all work closely together. And I feel like if people know, like, my online life, I always get along with Brian Griffin all the time, so they should have thought, like, that we were close too. It's just Brian and I haven't been close romantically. And then Dustin from the prior season, I didn't really get to work with him. And I don't know, we weren't really on the same page. He went missing for a couple hours looking for an idol. So, was it a bad idea? Obviously. Here I sit, fucking 9th place. But it was, like, out of necessity. Like, there were only so many options at that point.
Being the first member of the jury, were there any challenges after you were voted out that you wish you could have played in?
Oh, all of them. I feel like all the challenges that I saw afterward, I felt like I could have been very competitive in. Not to say like I would have won them, but I just feel like they were things that I could have, I don't know, like really excelled at. And if I could have done
Michael
myself,
got to be a part of it. They helped production, and he was there through it all. And
every time we
Michael
tested
beat
them,
me in the balance thing, you know, the thing they do in Survivor where they hold the thing because Michael's so damn tall, and all he had to do was smack my thing and throw his thing off.
Sure did. I remember to smack it up in your face. Like,
But when you
I need
smack
some immunity.
it,
Turn around and give it a little smack.
So, Michael, is there anything else you would like to say to anybody watching, maybe anybody that was in the cast, production, anything?
Yes, I would say, well, for production, the game was amazing. I have memories that will stay with me forever. I feel like the hard work that you put in did not go unnoticed and unappreciated. Like, we loved every moment of the game. It was fantastic. Production value, very, very high. To everyone in the cast, anything that I did during the game is not personal. I just wanted to do the best that I can. I feel like I had a lot of fun playing. I hope that I helped other people have fun. And if I had to lie to you, sorry about it. It's a game.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael, for being here. We appreciate it. Congrats on what you did and being a part of this. And we hope we will see and hear from you soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks Michael.
Guys. Bye.
Hello, Will.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, Will, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Good. Nice to finally meet you, and welcome to Reality Rules. Let's get this started with just you kind of telling us a little bit about yourself, Pirate Booty Camp, what place you got, and what this experience meant to you.
All right. Well, my name is Will Sigliano. I actually just moved to Maryland about 5 days ago. And yeah, this was my first. Pirate Booty Camp was my first, or any kind of like game like this. Like, this is my first live game. Never done an ORG. So this is my first experience with like any kind of Survivor reality game, I guess.
Awesome. So what did you take from it? What was your experience like for you? Your first game, compare it to other things you've done. What was it like for you?
It was not much like anything else I'd ever done. It was great. It was like a really great experience. I think I came in 14th out of 17, so I didn't do too great, but it was still a really great experience where I got to, like, I've gone camping before, I've done outdoor stuff, but this was unlike anything that I've ever done. Like, not eating, not like having to vote people out. It was just a crazy experience, and I'm really glad I did it.
Awesome. What was different? You said you played in Oregon. I like to ask people what was different.
I haven't. Sorry, that was my.
Oh, you've never played it.
Yeah, never played anything like that.
We're gonna try to get him to play one though eventually. Maybe Christmas break for him.
Definitely. So then what? I mean, so I'm guessing you're a fan of Survivor.
Oh yeah, big fan.
So what did it compare to the show that you've seen before? I mean, how comparable was it for you?
Well, I think the challenges were exactly like the show. Like, they were hard, they were well made. It was really, like, being in the challenges, I think that more than anything else really made me feel like I was actually having a Survivor experience. But like, it was all very similar. Like, the voting, the paranoia, the camps, all of it was really. It really felt authentic and was really cool.
Will and I were on the newbie tribe together, and on day one it was 4 challenges, but they were all reward challenges, and we just couldn't do it.
We won one of them.
We did win the memory one, but we couldn't. But then we were only just laying on tarps eating apples. So.
Yeah.
I was told to ask you about you throwing Cody's name out.
Yeah, okay. So this might be a bit of a long story because it's kind of my whole experience with the game. But I guess just preface it. I was all on board with the bromance. I enjoyed hanging out with Cody. I had a great time with him. But I think a lot of stuff happened where I wasn't totally sure I could trust what he was telling me. It's like from, I guess, day zero when we just first met everybody, I was really close with Tristan. And like because we were both newbies, we'd never done anything like this before. So the two of us coming in were like, we're going to stick together. We're going to go to the end. And we brought in Canfield too because he was our age. We were like similar interests. And then early on when the game actually started, I got close with Pete. So I had these 4 people that I had already had deals with before Cody even like came up to me. And then when he came up to me and said, "You, me, Tristan, Susan," I was on board with that and I wanted to do it, but I got a bit concerned when Cody played really aggressively and was like talking to everybody, and I felt concerned that I was not that like what he was telling me wasn't genuine. And I watched the interview with him, and I now realize that it was genuine. I totally could have trusted him. So Cody, if you're watching, I'm sorry, and I totally would have gone to the end with you.
Oh, he is. He's right now. He's
Okay,
commenting. He wants to let you know that he did puke when he voted you out. He was so sad when we told him that morning you were throwing out his name.
Yeah. So it was absolutely nothing personal. I felt like I was on the bottom of the alliance, which I now know wasn't true, but I was trying to save myself.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loved you. You had such a great personality and all that.
Oh yeah, no, I loved everybody, like especially on Jumbie. Once we lost all those challenges again, like I really felt like unified and part of the team. Like I really wanted us as Jumbie to win, and I really felt a real connection with all you guys, and I was really glad I got to do that.
What was the hardest part for you in this game?
The hardest part was definitely the paranoia and not knowing if you could trust what people were saying. Because like, I never really felt too hungry or too beaten up by the bugs or anything. So, but like just the relationships and having to balance like, I like these people, but I have to vote them out, and they have to vote me out, and I don't know how much of like myself to give to that. So that was, yeah, definitely the paranoia and having to deal with that.
What was easy for you? Was there any part that you just thought would be difficult that came across a little easier?
I thought going in that I was going to be a big liability in challenges, but I think actually once I got to do them, they were a lot of fun, and I think I hope that I never really.
With the slider one,
the slider,
I had to do slider. We killed that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys mostly took control of that one, and I was glad because you all knew how to do it. But that was a lot of fun. Like that challenge was probably the high point of the game for me because we came in, we had that strategy, and that was the first one we won for immunity, and it felt really good afterwards when we.
Yeah, we played that one right. We actually did something right.
We did that one right, and we won.
Awesome. Well, Will, hey, it was a pleasure having you on. Is there any final thoughts or words that you would like to say about your experience on Pirate Booty Camp?
No, I don't think so. Just I had a great time. Glad I met everybody.
Would you play again?
I absolutely would. I don't. If I came back next year, I would. I'm not sure whether I would rather play again or be on production because I had a lot of fun with production too and setting everything up and running through the challenges. But I would absolutely play again or come back if I have the opportunity and the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here, Will, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, Tristan is coming on next. Tristan's big thing, Joel Klug handpicked him out of all the returnees out of all the people that got voted out to come back. So, hey, Tristan.
Hey.
Hey, Tristan, how are you?
Hello.
Why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, hey, I'm Tristan Beck. Oh, can you hear me all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why don't you mute the stream in your background, though, so we make sure we don't hear the echo.
Right, this is my first time using that, so just give me a second here.
Oh, that's okay. We like being people's first. It's always fun for us.
Now I can't hear you. No, don't mute your microphone. Mute the YouTube video that you were watching.
I'm just getting a really big delay. This is my first time using this. This is my first time using this.
I think he might have the. Do you have the interview thing up in the background?
I figured out what I did. Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's why. Usually when you go on, either mute that or just close out that window. It's okay. It's a lot to get used to.
Yeah, so I'm Tristan Beck. I was voted off in what I don't know when I got voted off the first time. Then I got put back in by Joel, and then ended up in 7th place. So not too bad. Could have done better.
So what? Talk to me about your experience. How was the overall experience for you? What was it like? Have you done anything like this before?
Yeah, so this was my first one playing. I've not done any ORGs or any real games. I've hosted 2.
I like that the new people keep calling it orgies. It's orgs. Know why?
Oh, I've just been saying ORG. I'm not saying orgies. I'm saying ORG. It's just orgs.
It's just orgs.
Oh, I've just been saying the letters. Okay. My bad. Okay, I haven't done any orgs, but I have hosted 2 games on my college campus. But this is my first real one. It was absolutely horrible, but like amazingly wonderful at the same time. So I had a lot of fun.
What was wonderful?
I have hundreds of bug bites. Just I don't know where they all came from because they weren't. I don't know if I just wasn't focusing on them during the game, but like the second I got home, I started counting them, and I counted 132 on just my right arm, and that was like I lost track at the elbow. So like I don't know how I got that many, but it was bad. Like I've been scratching constantly, so I have like a Benadryl spray and all this other stuff.
Yeah, the bugs are bad. I feel you. I have all the hornet bites still. So
I'm guessing you're a big fan. I'm guessing you're a big fan of Survivor. How long have you been watching Survivor for? How deep does your fandom go?
I am a very big fan. I've been watching since I'm 20 now. I've been watching since I was 7. So the first season I saw was Amazon, and I've been watching pretty much since then.
But you got the privilege to meet a couple survivors, including Joel. So
did.
And how was that for you to be able to meet those people? And then Joel, that directly impact your game and bring you back. I mean, what was that like for you?
Meeting Kathy was really cool because Micronesia is my favorite season. So that was like super awesome seeing Kathy. And then when I saw Joel, that was very cool. The challenge that we actually did that I don't remember the names of the challenges, but the one where we had to like host all the poles, like the balancing thing. There was like a ball on top of a pole, and we had to keep adding poles, and then like the last one standing got back in. That challenge, I was looking up the whole time, and I was so like hungry and just like tired and exhausted that after mine fell and the challenge was over, I felt so unbelievably dizzy. I just fell over and passed out. And so I guess Joel saw that as me putting in a lot of effort, and so he picked me to go back in the game. So that was amazing.
Tristan, what do you think you could have done differently this season to maybe get you a little further?
I know exactly the main thing, and that would have been to not go with Susan, Cody, Kirk, and Craig.
And you know what? It wasn't me and Craig. Craig and I wanted to keep you around. I'm going to tell you, the round you went, it wasn't you. Kirk and Cody were fighting, and they just didn't trust you, and we just voted you for a peace treaty thing. Like, if you even look when she does the things, when we go vote you, I'm like, that's only to keep the peace between our alliance. But that's because you play too hard with that idol.
The idol.
That was
explain the idol. You can't just throw out the word idol in quotation marks.
Yeah, so the idol's a longish story. When Pete got voted off the first time, he had taken a bunch of things from camp. Like, he had hid things, and one of the things he had in his bag, I think he had this before, so maybe he didn't steal this, but he had one of the idol clues in his pocket, or in his bag. And so when I got voted off and I was with the pre-jury members, I was like, all right, we know somebody's going back in the game, so let's all get all the pre-juries together on one giant team. We're going to find this idol, so that way whoever goes back in the game has an idol to use. And so we basically spent the next, 2 or 3 hours hunting for this idol. And eventually I realized that if you hold the map really far away, at a distance, it kind of looks like a battleship or a pirate ship. So we went to the canoe challenge and like looked around there, and I think it was Will who found a clue like hidden in the bench that said like during the canoe challenge, look in the base of the canoe and there's an idol there. And so then we drove back to production camp and searched the canoes there, and there weren't any idols. And we gave the clue to Rebecca, and Rebecca said that the idol clue is no longer valid. And so then we decided, all right, we're gonna make a fake idol, and we're gonna hide it like at tribal council, so that way everyone can see us grab it, whoever goes back in the game. And I think the reason we got in trouble with that was that I still don't know who actually did it for sure, but because I was already back in the game at this point. But I guess some of the pre-jury members that were supposed to make the fake idol stole actual like idol pieces from Rebecca's storage unit or something. So it ended up looking very realistic. But it was never a real idol, but I guess it caused enough paranoia that it got me voted out a little bit sooner than I was supposed to.
So that backfired on you more than it helped you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Awesome.
Just a little.
Hey, Tristan, is there anything else that you would like to say, kind of your final words for Pirate Booty Camp?
Oh, I don't even know. I had a lot of fun. I wish I had gone with Michael Baxter and Chris because I probably would have gotten 4th or 5th. I also know I would have won the next challenge.
The Tower
Like
of Hannah. We did that.
6?
You know, the game
Yeah.
you and I ended up playing every mini. That was an actual competition.
Yeah, I know how I can do that in under 5 minutes. And like the fastest person was 7 or something like that, so it's like I know I would have beaten you guys if you had voted off Pete instead of me.
And that really was the plan. Like, there was nothing
Yeah.
personal or anything. I mean, I thought you were great. I thought we hit it off.
Oh,
great
I had a
day
lot of
one
fun.
in
Yeah, I don't take it personal. I just made my final jury speech sound personal because I wanted it to be funny and wanted it to be sassy.
No, it was great.
Awesome. Well, hey, Tristan, I'm glad you got to play. I'm glad you got to experience. Hopefully we'll see and hear from you more soon. But thank you for being on, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. All right. Next up, we have who, Susan?
Chris, he is reading my messages, but I don't know why he's not jumping on.
Want to send me his questions,
Hold
too.
on. I'll give Chris 2 minutes, and if not, we can go into production. They are all on board, ready, and waiting. So, again, I'll give him 2 minutes. He sees my messages. Brody, sit. Take him in the other room just so he doesn't mess with that food, please. All right, production is going to get on. I'm just going to assume Chris has something going on and can't respond. He'll eventually respond to me eventually, or we'll figure it out.
We can always push him back to tomorrow if we have to.
Yeah. Okay, production, it will be on within the next minute or so. They're all logging on.
Who do we have?
We have Rebecca, the host, 2 tribe handlers, which were BJ and Jordan, and they were amazing. And Jessica might jump on too. Jessica actually played in Real Foot 3, and she came down to help Rebecca. She didn't stay the whole time. She was there for 3 days and then came back to wrap up. Oh, and Dewan too. I'm seeing if he can get on.
Hello?
Who's
Hey.
here?
Hi.
Okay, we have.
It's Rebecca.
Okay, Rebecca's here. Somebody else is here too. Oh, my favorite person.
And my least favorite
Hi.
person.
Andrew, I haven't seen you in ages.
I try to keep it that way.
Whatever. No comment. Hi, Susan.
Hello, hello.
We'll give a couple more minutes for a couple more to pop in,
Yeah,
or the other
Jordan,
one or two.
Dewan was jumping on too. I'm not really sure where he's at. And I also sent Jessica the link because I know they all had things to say and stuff like that.
They have things to say, not that people want to listen to things. Rebecca, I'd listen to all day
Andrew,
long.
Andrew, can you get a life, please? Please, thanks.
Rebecca, I'll listen to all day long.
I love Rebecca too, and you should love me too.
I love everybody, and you're next.
I can't play. For everybody that's been
Andrew
asking me
has
if I'm
to
going to play
be
Pirate
nice.
Booty
Part
Camp
of his
3,
job.
if anybody's been asking me if I can play Pirate Booty Camp 3, I'm not going to be able to play because BJ has already made it his goal to make sure that I'm the first boot. So I can't go in with that kind of...
Andrew is not invited. Andrew is not invited to Pirate Booty Camp 3.
I can't go in with that kind of target that BJ's already putting on me. So, sorry, Rebecca, it's his fault.
Oh, I want you there for that podcast.
I won't tolerate.
She wants me there so we can do these things, and we're talking about that in the works. Possibly me being there at Pirate Booty Camp so we can do some of these things live on site next season, possibly.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool to be able to do them live on site and have them stream like.
Yeah, I'd have to make most of them take a shower before they step into my podcast booth, though.
Oh yeah, poor Rebecca. When we were at Final Five, she took us to her house to all shower and give us our good meal, and boy, did we stink her van up.
Oh, you did. I'm washing sleeping bags as we speak.
Awesome. Do we still have anybody else coming, Susan?
I guess not. I sent the link to Jessica and Jordan also. I mean, Jessica and Dewan. I'm sorry, my brain.
Jordan's
My brain's not thinking right now,
Jordan's
but yeah, those are the only two
Jordan's
production that are missing. Yeah, that's what I meant.
There's
Jessica
Jordan.
and Dewan.
Awesome. Well, why don't we start with having you each introduce yourself, what your job was on Pirate Booty Camp, and just kind of something that you enjoyed the most from this season. So y'all take turns kind of just introducing yourselves.
Oh gosh, I guess I'll go first. I'm Rebecca. Geez, I've been a long time Survivor fan, and I got into live games after playing Orgs. I got invited, and I experienced it firsthand, and I loved it so much, and I wanted to be on the production end of things. So I've been kind of like accumulating supplies for years and years and years, and I've dabbled with hosting, helping people host with other games. Pirate Booty Camp is kind of something that I've been dreaming about for probably like a good 5 to 7 years, and I've always had the Bong State Recreation Area in mind for it. So it was kind of like a dream come true to actually host my first season last year, and then to really amp it up for season 2. And we're looking at amping it up again for season 3 and moving it onto private property. So that's kind of where my experience lies. I guess you can call me the master net of the production team. I do a lot of the actual writing of the game, the building of the challenges my husband takes care of, and everybody else kind of puts in their 2 cents, and we put it all together. God, I babble.
Now let's go to to BJ.
BJ, help me.
Brandon? Okay, we can
He's
skip
ignoring
Brandon.
you now.
Okay, well, put Jordan on.
Okay. Oh, I think BJ's frozen.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Okay. I'm Jordan, and I played in season 1 of Rebecca's game. And then after that, I joined production for season 2 and helped her with that. So I was a tribe handler for this past season. And I will continue being on production, working with Rebecca for season 3.
Awesome. Sounds good. Okay, so now let's go through and just kind of open the table for things that y'all wanted to say from a production standpoint. Susan, if you have questions, send them to me because you didn't give
I'm
me
trying to send them to you, but Messenger is telling me that I can no longer send messages.
Send it on Skype.
Okay. I mean, they can continue talking till I do this. I'm sorry. I don't know why Messenger.
No, so let's just open round table at kind of things that y'all want to talk about.
I'm doing illegal things for you guys, so you guys better appreciate me. Just saying.
Okay, well then, since you're here doing illegal things, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right,
I am
sent
Jessica.
Skype.
Hey, BJ.
Jessica, why don't
Hi.
you introduce yourself?
Who, me?
I'm Jessica. No, me.
Oh.
It's not.
Okay,
always
go
about
ahead.
you, DJ.
I'm Jessica from Streeter, Illinois, and I'm driving home from chemistry class. So,
Awesome. Okay, BJ, you get the floor now to introduce yourself. BJ, did you freeze again?
What is
No, I don't know if he's on mute.
Oh, me. No, me, right? My turn finally?
Yes.
It was your turn 10 minutes ago, but you left us.
Oh my gosh, stop. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, anyways, my name is Brandon, also known as BJ. I am 28. I am from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Woo, woo, red light. I ended up hosting this season, so I was BJ Prost. I also set up with Jordan, Rebecca, Dewan, crew handling professionals, payment. So yeah, it was great. So that's a bit about me.
Awesome. Well, let's kind of open. Okay, well, hold on. I got some questions, and then we'll open the floor. Okay, the first question that I have is, did production have a list of how they thought people would fare in the game? If so, share your list and how accurate was it?
Okay. I personally did
Okay.
not make a list. I kind of like have an idea of like what people will be good at challenge-wise, but I never predict like who's going to be in the finals because there's just too many things to navigate in the game and like have an accurate outcome. But I do happen to have Jessica's prediction list, and we can compare and see how well she did. And
I also
Jessica had a final four, or a final three of Dustin, Michael Bridenhagen, and Craig Bannister.
So she was 1 for 3.
not bad.
Let me see.
By the way, hold on. I had to do a disclaimer. Reality Rules does not encourage driving and Google Hanging Out at the same time. And
I told her to pull over, and I meant it.
What did you say,
I'll
Courtney?
pull over. Hold on one second. Hold on.
No.
Let me find a place to pull over. Hold on.
I just would hate to have a wreck aired on one of our
That,
podcasts.
that would be awful.
Hold on one second. I'm pulling over. Hold on. I'm a NASCAR driver now. Okay, I'm pulled over.
I will be back in 2 minutes. I am blocked from all and any Facebook at all.
Okay.
Awesome. So that was Jessica's final 3. Jessica, why that final 3, and why are you surprised they didn't make it there?
I mean, I came in not knowing anything about any of these people, and so just based on day 0 and what everyone else was telling me, I figured those 3 would have the best shot at making it to the end. Obviously, 2 of the 3 didn't. but they made it. I think they did okay, but based off what they were telling me, that's how I made my predictions.
BJ, are you still with us? I don't see you. Okay, Jordan, did you have a boot list? I can't hear you.
She might be on mute.
She's not sure. I can't hear you, Jordan. No, I still can't hear you. Try leaving and coming back in. Brandon dropped on me again, too. Okay, this is great. Let's go to the second question, and we'll come back to this one.
Okay.
Who were you surprised by, and who were you the most surprised by, and who were you the least surprised by?
From my standpoint, I think the person that I was most surprised with, there was a couple of people that surprised me, but I think the most surprising was probably Michael Canfield. I kind of got the impression that he would be somewhat socially awkward in the game, but people really embraced him, and I was like, super kudos to anybody who comes out and like puts herself in these situations to go out and camp with 17 people that they haven't met before, be thrown into uncomfortable situations, and just taking a risk. I applaud everyone for doing that. Michael was a surprise to me as far as like people that I knew that would do well overall. I always knew that Kirk would do well. He's got multiple game experience. He's done well in pretty much everything that he's played in the past, so I expected him to do well. Well, that wasn't so much of a surprise to me.
Jordan, can we hear you now? No, I can't. Go to your settings and check the little cog at the top, and check that cog and see what your microphone is set at. Sometimes, if you're wearing headphones, it'll switch your microphone off to something different. Because I cannot hear you. Brandon, are you going to stick with us this time? Your connection is horrible, dude.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I cannot hear Jordan.
I'm sorry, I was having some problem. Okay, so
okay, Brandon, you're lagging really, really bad.
Okay, I have my boot list that. Oh
Jordan,
God.
I still can't hear
Hold
you.
on.
I can hear Brandon.
Is that
sorry?
better?
If you want to sign language your boot list, maybe. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, Brandon, are you here?
Can you?
Brandon, your connection is horrid.
I don't know what's going on with that. I see. I'm gonna try one thing. Give me 1 second.
Okay, Rebecca, I'm going to go to you with the next question while you're the only one that's actively able to be here right now. What was your favorite moment of the season?
Oh, gosh. I just love seeing, the joy on people's faces when they go through the event, and, unexpected things come up, things that surprise them, things that make them smile, things that make them go, oh, my God, that's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I just went through. The moment when you bond over the fire and it's pouring rain, or you need to put that last puzzle piece in, and the joy that just explodes when somebody wins a challenge and they know it's providing joy to others is something that provides joy to me, and that's what I love about it.
What? Okay, Brandon, are you here? Okay, Rebecca, we're going to move on, and if Brandon shows up, he does. What comp did you enjoy watching or hosting the most, and why?
Oh, my gosh. I found that a lot of the challenges that I've done, there's, really elaborate things you can do, and but I find a lot of the times, the simplest setups are sometimes the most effective. There was a challenge that we did where it was a bucket strength endurance, where all they had to do was hold a bucket of water, and we would let it go for 5 minutes. They would set it down. We would fill it up with more water, and it would just go on and on and on. And the effort that people put into that, the different positions that people do, the strategies that you kind of like watch people trying, different muscle groups they're trying to employ, the faces that they make. Super fun to watch. The gross food eating challenge is always a favorite. Yeah, I mean, what's not to love about a Survivor challenge?
Okay, so what was your favorite tribal council? Hold on, let's see. Jordan, can we hear you now?
Oh my gosh, there was a crazy round where the votes came up 3-3-3 with an idol played and a re-vote, so that would be my favorite round.
Brandon, are you here?
And Jordan and Brandon can get into more of the specifics of what was going on in the tribal dynamics at that point. But it was really interesting. I mean, we were driving back to the house one night and just talking about who trusted who and who wanted to work with who and whose paranoia was running rampant, and it was just a giggle fest.
Awesome. My questions that I have for the rest of this are for Jordan. Can we hear you now? No, maybe? Okay, because those questions I have are directed between Jordan and Brandon. Susan said she sent you some other questions, Rebecca. Susan, what are those questions? You're muted, so you need to unmute, Susan.
I have everything on Facebook, but Facebook is telling me that I'm not me and I can't log in.
I probably have it in my archives here. The hardest part of hosting the whole game was, oh my gosh, there was so much. I hit myself in the face with a U-Haul on Saturday during setup and ended up in the emergency room. I was down some bodies on production. We had an emergency situation where a key production member had to leave on the first day of the game. So just the physicality of moving the challenges from location to location with the number of people we had was extremely challenging. It was super, super hot out. It was exhausting like you wouldn't believe. Believe it or not, I probably ate less than the people that played. I'd lost 8 pounds over the week. But it all came together. I don't think we were ever off more than like 90 minutes from our proposed schedule, and everything went smoothly. We played every challenge that we intended to, with one exception because of a rain situation and inclement weather. But I'm like super, super proud of the team that we had out there and what we were able to accomplish.
So Rebecca, if you were a juror with Craig and Kirk, who would you have voted for?
You know, that's kind of a hard one, you know, because I think analyzing Kirk's and Craig's gameplay, Craig did a great job with the individual immunity wins and the challenge end of things, but he wasn't as social because he couldn't tell people a lot about themselves. And I can see in one way that the game was kind of structured that way because they started out in a rookies versus veteran situation. So you're automatically going to get kind of locked in with the people that you know more. But Kirk played 2 idols, and he didn't play either of them correctly because he didn't get any votes for either of those tribal councils. So I think I could have sent my vote either way.
Awesome. Okay, now I'll kind of open up the floor. Brandon, are you here?
Can you hear me now?
I can!
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can!
Yay, it's working.
Okay, so Brandon, I know you wanted to share your boot list, so go ahead and do that.
Okay, so I decided I'm only going to say the top 6 because I don't think it's relevant for me to say it was first boot since I thought everyone did a good job. But before coming there, I set up my list based on how the new players would play, how they fit in with some attorneys. And I'm going to share my top 6 that I have. Okay.
Okay.
So in sixth place, I had Evan. I thought Evan was going to go far just based on his personality, his savviness, and he just would be good. Fifth, I put Chris because, gosh, he's good. Like, he just knows what he's doing. I didn't know how he would fit in with everybody, but he's a survivor, so yes.
Brandon, you're cutting out on me again.
Here?
Kind of, yeah. Hey, turn your camera off and see if that helps your connection.
Okay, hold on.
Because it's a connection problem more than it is a mic problem.
Okay, how about that?
Are you there?
Does that work?
Okay, now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I had Evan 6th, Chris 5th, and then the 4 were kind of tough to choose from. So I put Pete as 4th, and I put Pete as 4th because I thought, you know, he was going to be real social and, you know, really well from what I watched, and I don't know. I thought he was going to do really well. It was nice to see someone, you know, even at his age, giving Survivor a go and taking everything that comes with it. So I was super proud of him. Okay, so 3rd, I actually had this one right, which was Susan. Susan, I know coming into it, never camped in her life. She's never been outdoors. She never slept on the ground. So coming in, I pegged her to go really far. And you know, halfway through, I really thought she could win. So I got that one right. I mean, Susan, you played a great game. So I was totally impressed with you, and I hope you are. And okay, so that was 3. So my final 2 was actually Michael Breidenhagen. I had a 2nd because, gosh, he's so fierce. He's so likable. He's good at challenges. He knows how to get far. I think this year what just got him was, you know, I think he was too much of a threat why he went when he did, but I had him as 2nd. And actually, I put a newbie as my winner. I picked Will to win this season. Just something about him, you know, he's like, he knows Survivor in and out. I remember we sat at a production camp one night, and I was just asking him questions about 6th place Thailand, and he knew everything that happened about that vote. He knew everything about Survivor. So I just thought coming in, and, you know, it just reaffirms with what everyone thought about him. He's a great person, and I just really thought he could pull it off. So he was my pick to win. So when he went out kind of early, I was disappointed, but that's that.
Jordan, did you have a boot list?
I didn't do one on paper. I kind of like thought about who it might be, and I wanted to do one, but I just never got time. So I don't really have one.
Okay, so the next questions I have are for BJ and Jordan, and yeah, so last year you both played. At any point did you feel like you would have played this season instead of being on production?
If I had the choice, I definitely would have played. Like, my choice is always to play first because I love to play, but if I can't play, then helping is like a very close second. So, yeah.
BJ, what about you?
I would have loved to play. I mean, there's so many, like there was such a new group of people and some good returnees, and, you know, just for me, it's about getting to know everybody and hanging out with them and making lifelong friends. But being on production, I feel like I accomplished the same thing. Yeah, it was a long week. It was hard work. It was dedication. Same with Jordan, Rebecca, Dewan, all of them. But I was completely happy. I was there for Rebecca. I wanted to, you know, I wanted to make sure that everybody else had as much fun as I did in season 1. So I would have loved to play, don't get me wrong, but I was just as excited to be on like the production end of things and see what's, you know, being able to go on behind the scenes, like learning like about the votes and what people are thinking, and, you know, this year hosting it, and that was like, I loved it. It was like a dream of mine. So thanks, Rebecca, for that.
Awesome. I'm actually going to turn this over to Susan. I had an 8 o'clock that I have to go and take care of, but I hopefully will be back shortly. But there's a couple more questions for you guys. But our glorious co-host, Mama S, is going to take it over from here.
Love it. Bye. Don't come back
Okay,
too
sorry.
soon.
I'm going to be like a little behind. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, so I had to transfer everything over. He sent me to Skype, and you know me, I'm a little scatterbrained at times. So it's going to take me a second. Okay, the rest of the questions are for BJ and Jordan still, what's left up here. It says, basically, because you guys played last season, you knew a lot of the players that were returning. Was it hard for you at moments because you felt like you were more involved during a certain vote out or listening to certain chats? Do you think that your empathy level was deeper because you knew the cast or you have had interactions with the cast versus some of the new players, or do you think you were able to keep your empathy level equal for all the players?
For me, I feel like I got to know the new players pretty quickly because I tried to talk to them as much as anybody else because I didn't want people to think that I was favoring like my friends from last year over anybody else, and I enjoyed listening and talking to the new players just as much as I did to my friends, like from season 1. I feel like some of the people from season 1, like when they would be having their confessional, they would kind of like relate it back to season 1, like the way that they were talking to me. But I enjoyed listening and getting to know everybody and spending time with all the players out there.
CJ?
Oh, I mean, I would echo what Jordan said. You know, playing season 1, knowing some of like the returnees, like style of play, how they talk, you know, just some of their plans, but.
And the next question is for all of you guys. What was your favorite and least favorite part of the whole game? And at any point, did you find that the players were driving you guys crazy and you just regretted hosting us?
Oh, gosh.
What was the first part of that?
Did we drive you guys bananas as players? The last part.
Okay. Driving bananas, I'm going to say thank you, Tristan, Will, and Pete for driving me nuts. Because the challenges, Rebecca always said, tell them 15 minutes. So 15, I'd always go into their camp and be like, 15 minutes, and it would always be 15 minutes like 2 hours ago. So, and they always razzled me on that one. But other than that, no, everyone was pretty good. And, you know, I think we got the point. The best part of the game was just, for me, was just seeing everybody have fun and enjoying it, putting everything on the table, and not leaving anything. It was just nice to me to see smiles on their face, and I wanted to make sure they had a good time, and when they were, it made me have an even better time. The worst part of the game was how emotional it got. I mean, this year I find was more emotional than season 1. That was hard for me because I'm an emotional person. So seeing people, when they get voted out, and the hug was so genuine. It was last year, but I find this year that was the toughest part for me to watch, was just how close everybody got, and nobody wanted to get voted out, and when they did, it was just, that was probably the hardest part for me.
Jordan?
Nobody annoyed me or like drove me crazy or anything. I really enjoyed everybody. I think one of my favorite parts was like talking to each person, like doing the confessionals, and since there wasn't really ever a video, like a camera, it was more like a conversation, and so like just giving them somebody to listen to, and even though I couldn't respond to them and like I couldn't talk it through with them, like you guys having somebody to talk your ideas through and just like think out loud, and like getting to be a part of that was really cool for me. And then I also loved like after a twist or after a challenge, seeing everybody's reaction, like hearing everybody's thoughts about it after it happened and things like that. I definitely loved those. I think that a lot of the, kind of like what BJ said, like a lot of the people getting voted out was almost just as hard for me as the people that actually had to vote for those people, because I was listening to all their plans and all their strategy and like where they thought they were and things like that. And so like watching them get voted out or watching them realize that it wasn't happening the way they thought it was going to happen, like that was hard for me to watch too, just knowing like where they were coming from.
And Rebecca.
Oh, the best thing for me is probably it's got to be like the lifelong bonds and friendships that you make when you go through something like this. And my least favorite was it was really super hard to have a key production member have to leave under emergent circumstances, and my heart goes out to Travis, and I'm glad that he's going to be okay. That was the hardest part for me.
And the last question is for all of you. Just any advice, any of your last thoughts on anything that happened. I mean, just your last final statement of it all.
Oh, I'm like just so thankful that people came out and took a chance and put themselves out there and had a good time. And I've had nothing but positive feedback, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again. I can't wait for all of our paths to cross in the future, and I see big things in the future. So thank you to each and every one who participated and played and helped me pull it off. It was quite amazing when everything was all said and done, and I'm super proud.
Jordan?
I